Shalom, family. This is Elder Jenkins with the King James Bible University. And I want to speak to you on a topic. The eyes of the Lord are in every place. The eyes of the Lord are in every place. So we know it's speaking about the eyes of the Creator. So it's my prayer that someone would be richly edified as we go through this teaching. Want to wish everyone a happy Sabbath as we begin this Sabbath morning. And we're just going to go through this teaching, this encouraging us and letting us know that the eyes of the Creator are in every place. So we're going to start at Psalms 105, verse 1 through 6. It says, "Oh, give thanks unto the Spirit of God. Call upon his name," meaning upon his way. "Make known his deeds among the peoples," all of his marvelous works and his deeds. You confess him. You confess the things that he's doing, the things that he have done. Make known his deeds among the people. Sing unto him. Sing songs unto him. So this is the confessions again. You confessing the things that he have done, the things that he have done in his word. It says, "Talk ye of all his wondrous works. Glory ye in his holy name and his holy way. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Spirit of God. Seek the Spirit of God in his strength. Seek his face evermore. Remember his marvelous works that he have done, his wonders in the judgments of his mouth, the doctrine and teachings of his mouth. O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen." So he's being very specific who he's speaking to. Isaiah 44, verse 1 through 8. He says, "Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus said the Spirit of God that made thee, and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water, I will pour knowledge upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing, my wisdom, knowledge, and understanding upon thine offspring. And they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the watercourses. One shall say, I am the Spirit of God's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto the Spirit of God, and surname himself by the name of Israel. Thus said the Spirit of God, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Spirit of God of hosts. I am the first, and I am the last, and besides me, there is no God. Who, and he says, and who, as I shall call, and shall declare it, and set it in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people, and the things that are coming and shall come, let them show unto them. Fear ye not, neither be afraid. Have not I told thee from that time, and have declared it? Ye are even my witnesses. Is there a God besides me? Yea, there is no God. I know not any. So now we're going to go to Isaiah 43, verse 10 down to 25. He says, ye are my witnesses, said the Spirit of God, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. I, even I am the Spirit of God, and besides me there is no Savior. I have declared and have saved, and I have showed when there was no strange God among you. Therefore ye are my witnesses, said the Spirit of God, that I am Yahweh. Yea, before the day was, I am he. And there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? Thus said the Spirit of God, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. For your sake I have sent to Babylon and have brought down all their nobles and the Chaldeans whose cry is in the ships. I am the Spirit of God, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King. Thus said the Spirit of God, which maketh a way in the sea, and a path in the mighty waters, which bringeth forth the chariot and horse, and the army and the power. They shall lie down together. They shall not rise. They are extinct. They are quenched as tow. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert, to give drink to my people, to give knowledge to my people, my chosen. This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise. In other words, they shall show forth his confessions. But thou hast not called upon me, O Jacob, but thou hast been weary of me, O Israel. Thou hast not brought me the small cattle of thy burnt offerings, neither hast thou honored me with thy sacrifices. I have not caused thee to serve with an offering, nor wearied thee with incense. Thou hast bought me no sweet cane with money, neither hast thou filled me with the fat of thy sacrifices. But thou hast made me to serve with thy sins. Thou hast wearied me with thine iniquities. I, even I am he that blotted out thy transgressions for my own sake, and will not remember thy sins. So he's sitting there telling us he's going to blot out our transgressions for his own sake. Not for our sake, but for his own sake, because we're called by his name. He said, and will not remember thy sins. Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 55. He says, for unto me the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Spirit of God, your God, meaning your guide. He's letting us know exactly who he is and what he have done and what we are to him. Joel chapter 2 verse 27. He said, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Spirit of God, your God, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. Psalms 105. And we'll go to verse 7. He is the Spirit of God, our guide. His judgments are in all the earth. Verse 8. He have remembered his covenant forever, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations. He say he remembered his covenant forever. Let's keep going. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 9 and 10. He says, know therefore that the Spirit of God, thy God, he is God. He is Yahweh, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, the ones that promise him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. This is what we just got to read in Psalms 105. He said, and repaired them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hated him. He will repay him to his face. Let's get some more information. Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 8. The Creator sent a word into Jacob, and it have lighted upon Israel. So he's telling us that this covenant, he won't never forget. This covenant is going to be forever. So now he just told us that he sent a word unto Jacob, and it have lighted upon Israel. Now we're going to look at this word, this covenant agreement. Exodus 19, verses 5 and 6, he says, now, therefore, if ye, meaning providing ye will obey my voice in deeds, meaning in works, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all the people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and an holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. He said we're going to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. This came right out of his mouth. Let's go back to Psalms 105, verse 9 and 10. He says, and confirm the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant, saying, unto thee will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance. Let's see here. Oh no, just verse 9 and 10. So it says, which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. So that's verse 9 and 10. So now let's hit Sirach, chapter 44, and verse 22. He says, with Isaac did he establish likewise for Abraham his father's sake, the blessing of all men and the covenant. It's what he have done. John 14 and 17. even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive because it seeth him not. But ye know him, for he dwelleth with you and shall be in you. Sirach. All right, and Sirach chapter 6 and verse 18 down to 25. It says, my son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom till thine old age. As one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat, meaning thou shalt learn of her fruits right soon. She is very unpleasant, unlearned. He that is withstanding will remain with her, will not remain with wisdom. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him where it belongs. For wisdom is according to her name, according to her way, and she is not manifest unto many. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel, and put thy feet bow down thy shoulder, and bear her, and be not grieved with her bounds. Let's get Proverbs chapter 2. And we'll start at verse 4 down to 17. He says, if thou seekest her as silver, and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear, meaning the desire of the Spirit of God, and find the knowledge of Yahweh. For the Spirit of God giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He laid up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. He keepeth the paths of judgment and preserveth the way of his saints. This is what he does, family. He says, then shalt thou understand righteousness and judgment and equity, yea, every good path. When wisdom entered into thine heart, and knowledge is unpleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee. Understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things, who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil and delight in the forwardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they forward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattered with her words, which forsaketh the God of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her God. So in other words, we're going to forsake the God of our youth, the law that he gave us. spirit that he gave us, we're going to forsake that and forget it, the covenant of Yahweh. This is not good, family. See, if we do these things, we be on the wrong side of the plumb line. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9, verse 15 and 16. It says, the ancient and honorable, he is the head, and a prophet that teacheth lies, he is the tail. For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Proverbs chapter 2. We'll start at verse 18 down to 22. It says, speaking about that strange woman, and we just saw what an ancient and honorable is the head, and a prophet that teacheth lies is the tail. It says, for her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. None that go unto her return again, neither take their hold on the paths of life, that thou mayest walk in the way of good men and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it. He's letting us know what's going to go down. Let's hit Proverbs chapter 4. We hit verse 5 through 9. It says, get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. Neither decline the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. So we're going to hit Sirach, chapter 6. And verse 26 down to 27. It says, come unto her with thy whole heart, speaking about wisdom, and keep her ways with all thy power, with all thy strength. Search and seek, and she shall be made known unto thee. And when thou hast got hold of her, let her not go. We don't want to let wisdom go. For at the last thou shalt find her rest, and that shall be turned to thy joy. Then shall her feathers be a strong defense for the, then shall her feathers be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory. For there is a golden ornament upon her, and her bands are purple lace. Thou shalt put her on as a robe of honor, and shall put her about thee as a crown of joy. My son, if thou wilt thou shalt be taught. And if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. He says, if thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Let thy mind be upon the ordinance of the Creator, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thine heart and give thee wisdom at thine own heart. So he's sitting there telling us the things that he will do. Let's go back to Psalms. And we'll hit Psalms 100. Okay, we're going to go to verse 3 through 5. It says, know ye that the Spirit of God, he is God. It is he that have made us and not we ourselves. We are his people and the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name. For the Spirit of God is good. His mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations. That's what's going on in Deuteronomy. And let's hit verse 32. Let's see, chapter 32, verse 7 through 10. It says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations, he says their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam. Keep in mind, over there in Genesis chapter 5, matter of fact, we'll go there right quick. Go to Genesis. In verse 2, he said, this is the book of the generations of Adam, this entire Bible. In the day that Yahweh created man, in the likeness of Yahweh made he him, male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. So we got to make sure we understand that this book is called the book of the generations of Adam. So when we come back here at Deuteronomy chapter 32, And I'm going to read verse 8 again. It says, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. That's what he did. It says, for the Spirit of God's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. He found him in a desert land, and in a waste howling wilderness, he led him about. He instructed him, and he kept him as the apple of his eye. These are things that he have done. Go back to Sirach. And let's hit chapter 33. Let's see, Sirach. And we're going to start at verse 10 down to verse 15. We're going to start at verse 10 down to 15. It says, and all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge the Creator have divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them have he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them have he cursed and brought low, and turned out their places. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him, to render to them as liketh him best. Let's hit verse 14. It says, good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. So we keep seeing here how he set the songs of Adam and we see also that this good is set against evil and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. So it's two and two, one against another. This is the way how everything is set up. So let's get some detailed information on how these things are set up using scripture only. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1 through 9. It says, for the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man, there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in a moving, it says in a in a little spark in the moving of our heart, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. And our name shall be forgotten in the time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance. And our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud. It shall be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun and overcome with the heat thereof. For our time is very shadow that passeth away. And after our end, there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present, and let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments, and let no flower of the spring pass by us. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place. For this is our portion, and our lot is this. So we see they clearly making these confessions about themselves. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, and we're going to hit verse 21 down to 27. It says, and I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. That's what they're going to do. He said, make change, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. Wherefore, I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses. I will also make the pomp of the strong cease. So he's letting us know what he's going to do, family. He says, in their holy places shall be defiled. Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief. Rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet. But the law shall perish from the priests, and counsel from the ancients. The king shall mourn, and the prince shall be clothed with desolation. And the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their way, and so he's telling us exactly what's going to happen. This king shall mourn, and the prince shall be clothed with desolation, and the hands of the people of the land shall be troubled. I will do unto them after their way, and according to their deserts will I judge them, and they shall know that I am the Spirit of God. So he's being very clear about what he's going to do. Let's go back to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 10 down to verse 12. He says, let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. This is what the ungodly is saying. He said, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. He says, therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteousness, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with our offending the law, and objected to our infamy and transgressions of our education. Let's hit Psalms. And we hit Psalms 147. (19 and 20). He said, he showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Spirit of God. Let's get some more back in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. And let's go to verse 13 through 15. He says, he professed to have the knowledge of Yahweh. We just got through showing in Psalms 147 that he sent a word to Jacob. We just got through seeing how he didn't deal with anyone else. But now these want to question what they already been confessing. They say he professed to have the knowledge of Yahweh, and he called himself the child of the Creator. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us even to behold. For his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. Second Esdras, chapter 2, and let's see here. Now we'll hit Second Esdras, chapter 5, and verse 24 down to 27. Let's get this right quick. Okay, it says, and of all lands of the whole world, thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof, one lily, and of all the depths of the sea, thou hast filled thee one river, and of all builded cities, thou hast hollowed Zion unto thyself. Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 2 and verse 16 and 17. Okay, it says, we are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounced it the end of the just to be blessed, and make it his boast that Yahweh is his father. Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. Psalms. Let's see. Psalms 83. Verse 2 through 5. He says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. This is what they have done, family. Just think about all of the books in your class where you only learn about things that took place after slavery. You learn about things during the civil rights movement, but you never learn about what took place before slavery. He said, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the understanding he's telling us these things that they didn't want us to know what was going on. Just cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. I just, even as I read this, family, it bothers me. I just have to pause for a minute and just take this all in, because this was definitely crafty counsel. This was crafty counsel taking place. And it's a lot of folks, even to this day, as we going through this teaching, is still is up under this. They are affected by this. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against it. You still have folks that is affected by this right here. Just have to pause for a minute and just take this all in. We're able to read about it in our book, in the book of the generations of Adam, which is a history book, a dictionary, and a commentary all wrapped in one. A book of remembrance. This crafty counsel was taking place. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 14. He asked the question, is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? Why? Let's get some more. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, verse 18 down to 24. He says, for if the just man be the son of Yahweh, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. Let us examine him with the spitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. Let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own sin he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. As for the mysteries of Yahweh, they knew them not, neither hope they for the wages of righteousness, nor discern a reward for blameless souls. Wisdom of Solomon 3, 1 through 5. It says, but the souls of the righteous. No matter of fact, no, let me go back. That was verse 22. Got two more verses, 23 and 24. It says, for Yahweh created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. Chapter 3, verse 1 through 5. But the souls of the righteous are in the hand of Yahweh. It's in his power. And there shall no torment touch them. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery, and they're going from us to be utter destruction. But they are in peace, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality. And having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For Yahweh proved them, and found them worthy for himself. Hebrews chapter 12. And verse 6 through 15. He says, for whom the Creator loveth, he chastiseth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening of Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons, meaning servants. For what son, what servant is he whom the Father chasteneth not? He's asking us a question. But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh, which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chastening us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Now, no chastening of the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward, it yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Wherefore, lift up the hands which hang down, and the feeble knees, and make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. Follow peace with all men, and holiness, without which no man shall see the Creator. Looking diligently, lest any man fall, or lest any man fail of the grace of Yahweh, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. Verse 6 through 9. He say, as gold in a furnace have he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Creator shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him, for grace and mercy is to his saints, and he have care for his elect. So let's get some more. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1 through 8. He says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of Yahweh, and his lot is among the saints. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Creator, we have not known it. What have pride profited us? Or what good have riches with our vaunting brought us? He asking a question. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 22 down to 31. It says, moreover, this was not enough for them that they erred in the knowledge of Yahweh. But whereas they live in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called a peace. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously or grieved them by adultery, so that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, coin. So this is all of the things that was going on. He said, so that there reign in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness. For the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. For either they are mad when they be merry, or prophesy lies, or live unjustly, or else lightly forswear themselves. For inasmuch as their trust is in idols, which have no life, though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. Howbeit for both causes shall they be justly punished, both because they thought not well of Yahweh, giving heed unto idols, and also unjustly swore in deceit, despising holiness. For it is not the power of them by whom they swear, but it is the just vengeance of sinners that punisheth always the offense of the ungodly. Verse 21. And this was an occasion to deceive the world. For men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name, and that name is the ancient and the honorable, Satan himself. That's what it is. So now let's go to 2 Corinthians. Go ahead, chapter 5, verse 10 and 11. He says, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body, according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. Knowing therefore the terror of the Creator, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto Yahweh. And our trust also are made manifest in your conscience. Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 3. It says, the eyes of the Spirit of God are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. He's in every place. Should have think about that for a minute. There's no getting around him. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. It says, for the ear of jealousy heareth all things, and the noise of murmurings is not hid. Therefore, beware of murmuring, which is unprofitable, and refrain your tongue from backbiting, for there is no word so secret that shall go for naught. In the mouth that belieth slay the soul. So we see, family, what's going on here. He's telling us the eyes of the Spirit of God are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. Family, I hope and pray that someone was able to get something from this teaching. Verse 12 says, seek not death in the era of your life, and pull not upon yourselves destruction with the works of your hand. For Yahweh made not death, neither have he pleasure in the destruction of the living. For he created all things that they might have their being. In the generation of the world were helpful, and there is no poison or destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth. For righteousness is immortal, but the ungodly men with their works and words called it to them. For when they thought to have it their friend, they consumed to naught and made a covenant with it, because they are worthy to take part with it. So family, I hope and pray that someone was able to gain some information and knowledge about how everything is laid out. We can take our time and study and meditate on these scriptures. And this word is our light It's our lamp. It's our light. It will clean us up. It will purge us. It will convert us. So family, I'm going to say a shalom to everyone. Till we meet again, shalom.